There's Lily.
I hit the button right now. It should be hitting there just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear us, I can't see chat actually.
Uh, hold on. I'm waiting for it to. There's a stream. And all right, we've got someone that said hello already. Hi.
Yay!
Where does it show how many people are in here?
I'm gonna pull up the stream myself and mute it so I don't lose myself.
Oh,
Hey, it is
we
streaming to
got
us.
3 in here.
All right.
Well,
So,
one of them's me, so.
I'm in here too. So.
how's audio sound, chat? Just doing some last minute tweaking and all that.
Lily says that was Delati.
Delati. Hi, Delati.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Sounds
I know, right?
great. Thank you, Lily. Right. Well, if we can hear everybody, got a few minutes here.
Yep.
I'm debating whether to go off of push to talk or not.
I am
I
off
have
of
to
push to
talk
talk.
turned off. I'm not turning it on because it's inevitable that I'll forget to hit my button.
Yeah,
And
that's probably what I would do
I'll be
too, so
sorry.
I'd better fix that.
And then we'll just see
And
you
I'll be.
mouthing something.
Mhm. Yep.
All
And
right.
then Jazz would be like, Shay, you're muted.
Hey,
I'd be
All right, is that working? Yeah, that looks like it's working.
Someone says, go, Jazzy, go, Jazzy, go.
That's Adranus. We all know Adranus. Hi, Adranus. Oh, man. Yeah, just a few more minutes here. I'm going to go back on mute, and then we'll be back with the.
All right, just let me know when we got sound.
And we're live. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. It's Shay, and I'm here with Jazzy, Snow, and April from Make-A-Wish, and this is our first ever live episode of Roundtable Report. How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing just wonderful, as always.
I'm doing great.
All right, so let's get this show started. April, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what Make-A-Wish International does?
Sure, yeah. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to meet everyone. So yeah, my name's April. I am the charitable gaming and content creators manager for Make-A-Wish International, which basically just means that I work with all things gaming, streaming, and fundraising. So groups like yourselves, individuals who want to fundraise for us, and games industry people too, like developers, publishers, those kind of companies who want to help us grant wishes also. So that's my job. That's not much about me. That's about my job. Personally, I live in Western Canada, and I have been with Make a Wish for 8 years now. I've been in nonprofit my whole career. Um, I am I hold a degree in marine biology and I've never actually used it. I just sort of fell into nonprofit straight out of university. I have two dogs, a husband, a son, and yeah, I am very excited to be here. I'm a lifelong gamer. My dad, when I was a kid, which was a long, long time ago, used to own a coin arcade. So think like Miss Pac-Man, Pole Position, those kind of things. And at night, when he would do the books, he would lock the doors and turn all the cabinets onto free play for me and my sisters. And we would just go to town so he could focus on doing business stuff.
I would get on that
So,
asteroids machine and not
I mean,
leave.
it was all the good stuff.
So
Galaga, I
good.
mean, Space Invaders, like yeah,
Hmm.
it was which in the lens of nostalgia were awesome, but I'm sure if I played them now, I'd just be like, oh my god, what what is happening? I still play. I mostly play on my couch by myself. I'm not a big online gaming fan. I use gaming to escape, and detach. And online gaming is more for socializing, and that's not the headspace that I'm usually
No.
in when I'm playing.
I don't know what you're talking
Um,
about.
yeah, but that's me. That's me personally. That's the stuff that I love and what I do and who I am. And then yeah, I can talk about Make a Wish too. So first of all, thanks for choosing us. Like very excited that you guys are going to be helping out the charity. So tell me why. Like tell me what you know about Make a Wish and why you picked us.
Well, I know of Make a Wish because of the fifth guest that everybody sees, which is John Cena. Um,
Yes.
and I just know that y'all do the amazing uh, kids and whatnot mainly. Just help!
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to
No.
have fun.
No, I
Speaking,
liked it. Yes, John Cena. So fun fact about John Cena, he has granted more celebrity wishes than any other celebrity in the world by far, like hundreds more than anybody else who's granted wishes. So no one's I don't think anyone's ever going to catch him, but yes. He
it's my dream just as a joke, and if you can, feel free if you can manage to make him show up, great. But even if you don't, during the streamathon actual event, we have a stream going with all the stuff. I just want a chair that's just empty with John Cena,
the John Cena chair.
just 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 for the joke. That's
Nice.
really it.
Nice. Well, so for some context, so Make a Wish started 45 years ago in America and now has, of course, become global. So I am with the international side of Make a Wish. So like there's Make a Wish America and there's Make a Wish International. Together last year we granted 30,000 wishes. And what we do is we grant wishes to children who have been diagnosed with critical illnesses. They are not necessarily terminal illnesses. We work very hard to dispel that belief about us because many, many, many of our kids go on to either manage their medical condition and lead long, happy lives or successfully recover from their medical condition as well. So we don't want families to be scared when they hear that they qualify for a wish, right? So we work very hard to counteract the belief that that is all that we do, and it is not. So yeah, we grant wishes to kids who are just going through a really hard time, and whenever a child gets a diagnosis like that, childhood stops, right? Like they're not a child anymore; they're a patient, and that's the whole framework, the frame of reference for all of their life from that moment on. And that includes their parents' lives too. Like their parents go from like adults who are working, taking care of their family, building their future, to suddenly their medical parents, right? And that's a whole different frame of reference for adulthood. So what we do, what a wish does, is it's kind of it's a journey. It's not kind of a journey. It is a journey. It's a journey that we design to take the child and their family on from the moment they're approved for a wish to the actual wish granting day. And we design it so that it reminds them of childhood, brings childhood back to them when it's been ripped away from them. But also, it really targets their psychological well being, their mental health, giving them something to look forward to. A lot of um, medical staff, doctors, nurses, they talk a child through a painful procedure using the wish as, something to talk about, discuss with them. We have older kids who, when their friends come to visit them in the hospital, they don't know how to talk to their friends, about that. Like, what teenager knows how to talk about these things? So the wish becomes a conversation piece, something to talk about, plan together, get excited about. And it really just kind of cues into those really down times and gives them something uplifting to focus on and plan and be part of. And we've got all sorts of great research that we just did last year, and focusing on our wish families, that shows that it really makes an impact on their physical and mental health outcomes on their medical journeys. So it's not just one day where we swoop in and we do something cool like introduce a kid to John Cena or whatever. It's actually this whole thing that we do that's designed to complement whatever their medical treatment and whatever they're going through, and make life better and more fun and more childlike, because they deserve that. So yeah, that
Completely
is what a
agree.
wish is.
Yeah. So, what are so the classic Disney World, Disneyland, etc. Those are very
Yes.
popular, I'm sure.
Yes.
What's a weird or what's an unpopular one that has
Well,
happened that you remember?
unique. I think the
Yes,
word you're looking for
unique.
is
Let's go with
unique,
unique. Has
not
has any
unpopular.
any kid said let's go to a brewery or what?
I mean, there are some things that we won't do for a child,
Okay.
obviously, and I don't know. I don't have any of those. I don't think to share, but my favorite kind of wish, yes, absolutely. Disney World is a huge, anything Disney related is still our number one wishes, and Disney's an amazing partner. I would say gaming has become a bigger and bigger category of wishes, which is why even have this role, because more and more, especially on the heels of the pandemic, a lot of our kids turn to gaming to relieve boredom in the hospital, relieve fear in the hospital, stay connected to their friends and family, socialize. Online gaming is much better than it used to be. So for a lot of our kids, when they're in isolation due to being, going through chemotherapy or something like that, gaming keeps them connected to their world. And so we get a ton of wishes around that. So consoles, gaming PCs, room redecorations to focus on their favorite game, meeting their favorite content creators. Like, there's all sorts of things. Going to BlizzCon,
Yeah.
back when BlizzCon, I guess, I don't know, did BlizzCon come back this year?
Not this year. They announced it's
Not
coming
this
back next year.
Exciting!
Have
Yay!
although it's at a
Uh,
weird time and a weird date, I don't know what to do. My whole life has changed. I don't know. No,
oh,
no,
where's it at? Where are
don't know.
they?
They just
Don't know
said
yet. Okay, okay.
they just said
It's
I
to be
think they said
determined.
September of next year, and
Oh,
that's it. That's all they said.
interesting.
Isn't
Yeah.
isn't it normally in November?
It's normally the first
It
weekend of
normally is.
November.
Yep.
Why
I
are they
don't
doing
know.
this to us?
I don't know. They're changing my whole everything. I don't like change.
Yeah, so yes, we actually have had a ton of BlizzCon wishes actually too. So I mean, obviously this community has been very supportive of what we do. World of Warcraft, themselves have done charity pets in the past and
Hmm?
selected us for a few of them, which has been amazing. They raised huge amounts of money to support our kiddos. But even more than that, the part that I am really enjoying is all of the grassroots, groups and guilds who are starting to support us in, your charity events that you're doing. And I think that is so beautiful and I love it. But yeah, gaming is definitely one of sort of a whole category of wishes by itself that is developing and growing and becoming a real force with us, like a real thing. But my favorites are the ones where the kids just kind of do their own thing because they have a very unique interest,
Mhm.
and they sort of like wish for something that's so them. So like we have one kiddo. I used to actually do more wish granting than what I do now. What I do now is primarily fundraising, but we had one kiddo who wished for a mobile chicken coop. So he was a farm kid. He loved his chickens. His chickens were his best friends, and he wanted them to have the palace of chicken coops. And so that was his wish, which was absolutely amazing. We have one little girl in India, I believe, who wanted a watermelon party. That was her whole thing. She wanted a birthday party, and she wanted it to be watermelon themed. And so it was a whole thing. And yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of like their own choices. I have my personal favorite one. Um, this one's one's a little hard to talk about, but I love it. So we had a young man in Canada. His name was Jaden, and Jaden was 18 when he was diagnosed with a terminal form of cancer. And Jaden was a huge sneakerhead and a basketball player. And his favorite thing, were shoes. Like they were his passion. And he wanted to design his own shoe. And so what we did was we found a cobbler in Detroit, and we sent him pictures of Jaden's 5 favorite sneakers. And so he put them all together into one pair of shoes, one unique pair of shoes that incorporated his favorite elements from these amazing, sneakers that he had. We knew that time was short, so we actually put the cobbler on the plane to fly them into Canada, so they didn't get caught up in customs or anything like that. Drove them up to the hospital, where he was about 3 hours away. And even though he was 18, he was in the children's hospital, and he um, put his sneakers on. He had not gotten out of bed in a while, and he and his dad grabbed the walker and walked around the children's ward, showing his sneakers to everybody, the nurses, the doctors, the other kids. And yeah, so that was Jaden's sneaker wish. And when his friends would come by, like they would help him plan them, they would talk about them, and it really helped him stay connected to his friends that way too. So that's probably my personal favorite wish that I was ever
That
involved with.
that's a good one.
I love that. I
That's a
love
great
that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really, really good one. It was very powerful, and his family still have the sneakers. They're one of the very tangible memories they have of him, and they're in a glass case in their house. And his family went on to raise money to grant wishes to other kids, because they saw what it did for him and his journey. And so yeah, so I mean, last year we did that 30,000 times, and in the
Wow.
history of our organization, we've done it 615,000 times.
That's a
And
lot of
we are
wishes.
It's a lot of wishes, yeah, and we're granting wishes in over 50 countries now. This past year, I am very excited to share that we opened Make a Wish Indonesia, which is one of the seventh most populous country in the world. So obviously, a lot of needs and a lot of kiddos there. A couple of weeks ago, well, actually more like a month and a half ago, we opened Make a Wish Sri Lanka. So that's our newest affiliate. And then very, very excited to share that we opened our first African affiliate earlier this year with Wish Tanzania. So we've known for a long time that there are gaps in where we are serving kids and where we are able to reach kids. And so that's one of our big focuses at the global level, is making sure that, we reach every child who's eligible and deserves a wish. So yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
All
yeah,
around
yeah.
the
So
world.
that's what we do. It's good stuff.
And this is part of the reason why we chose you guys as a charity.
Yep.
Thank you. Well, like I said, we're super thrilled. I mean, okay, I don't play World of Warcraft. I don't know a lot about World of Warcraft. I know the loot is great. I know there's tanks and there's paladins and there's mounts. I know all of these things. I've never actually played myself, but I really, really love the community. Like the whole community vibe when it's a really good guild, that I know there's some toxic guilds out there, just like there's toxic in any game, right? But when it's a really, really good guild and they choose to support us, I love it so much because it's such a great community, and I found it to be full of a lot of really good caring people. So yeah, anytime I hear from any of you, I'm like, yes, absolutely, we love you guys.
Yeah, we've done. God, how many
This is
streamathons are we at now?
this one is number 17.
Number 17 of these.
Wow,
We started, our first one was December of 2016 for Toys
that's
for Tots.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we did not do a summer one in 2017. We did a winter one, but we've been doing them twice a year ever since.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well done. Well done, all of you. That's so good.
It's
But yeah, no, ask me anything about wishes. Like I am happy to talk about wishes, 100%.
Shay. Put you on the spot. Do we have any questions in chat? I would apparently, if I do this, does the screen go away? No, there we go. Yay!
It doesn't look like we have any. So someone says, "Does anyone really use their degree?" I think that was
I
in
do.
reference to a marine biology degree.
That's
Um,
accurate. You are not wrong.
so I kind of have a fun story about
Okay.
Make a Wish too. Um, so about 4 or 5 years ago, my cousin's daughter, she has all kinds of really, really bad stomach issues. This girl has
Ah,
had like 10 or 11 different surgeries on her stomach. At one point in time, she was critical, and her wish, what she wanted more than anything, was to go to Disney.
yeah.
And you guys made that happen for her. And
Cool.
um, about 3 or 4 months after she went to Disney, she made a turn for the better.
Nice.
And she is still with us today, and she hasn't had a surgery in about 2 years. So fingers
That's
crossed.
very
That's awesome.
exciting. Very
So
cool.
I like to think that the trip to Disney gave her a morale boost. But so I was there. Me and my cousin are really, really close. I was there through the process, and just I saw how things worked, and it this is an amazing, amazing charity to work with. Like everybody was so supportive, and just absolutely amazing through the whole process.
Nice. Oh, I'm so glad to hear all of that. That is so cool. So, a question that I get, sorry, a question that I get pretty routinely is how is a child selected for a wish, or how does a child qualify for a wish? So one of the neat things about us is that we have at the global, national, local level, we have what's called a medical advisory committee. So usually the MAC is composed of pediatricians, experts in their field, medical doctors. And so, there are some diagnoses that we automatically know a child's going to qualify for a wish, and we pass. They automatically, move on to the next phase. But in instances where maybe you don't know exactly what the diagnosis is, like your cousin's child, or it's something that is so unique and so rare, it passes through our committee. And so we do that to make sure that one, we are for sure granting wishes to children who need them the most, but also to make sure, that we're not like, granting wishes, just because of somebody who knows somebody, right? We want the process to be very agnostic. We want the process to be very, um, the same for a child, right? So that is part of what we do. So some kids just come to us with such unique conditions that we have no idea, but that's why we have these great volunteers who help us out with those things, and make sure that we are reaching the right children. So yeah, that is how a child is selected for a wish. It's definitely by their diagnosis. They can be referred by their doctor, or they can refer themselves. So we have some families who take that onto themselves and say, you know what, I want something really positive and happy to happen in my child's life right now, and I'm going to get that started. So yeah.
I love that. So we do have a couple of questions that have popped up in here.
Yay.
Uh,
Yeah.
so Fiona asked, she says there's probably a lot of the same wishes asked, like a trip to Disney. What's the
Mhm.
most unique request that you've had?
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, like I said, there was the most unique one to me was the kid who wanted the mobile chicken coop. I don't know why the chicken coop was mobile. I think it's probably why I'm so fascinated by that one. I'm always fascinated by the celebrities that children wish to meet. So we had a kiddo out of the UK recently, I think, and you think, he's young, like he's somewhere between 10 to 12, I would say, judging by the photo that was in. But he wanted to meet Brian May of Queen. So
Absolutely.
what
Who
cool
wouldn't want to
yeah,
do
what
that?
I know, but do you think a 10 to 12-year-old is going to be like, I want to meet Brian May of Queen? But he did. So coolest kid ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm always fascinated by who they want to meet. We do get a lot of Top Chef requests now, kids who want to be on like their country's version of Top Chef. And trust me when I say that every country has a version of Top Chef. This is something I've learned.
Yeah.
I've learned through this. Um, kids, I love playhouse wishes. So a lot of kids want like their own playhouse, their own kind of like escape space. And I will say one thing I've noticed about these kids, after everything they've been through, is their own personal space is very, very, very important, right? So, but it's not just that they want a playhouse, it's what they want the playhouse to be, right?
Mhm.
We get pirate ships, we get, castles, we get, fairy trees, things like that. So I always love the playhouse wishes because those are so cool because they're such a like unique view into what the child imagines the world to be. And the same thing with their we get a lot of room redecoration requests too. Yeah, so we, kids like their space is their sanctuary. And so when they get the chance to just do it up the way they've always wanted to, it's a really cool thing to see. Um, I'm gonna add one more to that list too, just because I'm a science nerd. But we had one young lady who wanted to go to the CERN Collider,
Can I go
which
on that
I
trip?
think, yeah, I know she went. We had an amazing time. The pictures were incredible. I was so jealous. So I do have a really great spot in my heart for all the STEM related wishes too. I think those are probably some of my favorites.
Sounds
All
great.
right. We have another one in here. So what's your favorite part of working with Make-A-Wish and how has it changed your life?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's a big chunk of my life. It's 8 years of my life at this point, right? So, it has given me a sense of purpose. It has let me touch a lot of lives, either directly or indirectly, which I think is probably one of the greatest gifts you can get as a human, is to be able to make a positive impact on other people's lives. Um, I I mean, I do miss the more hands-on part of wish granting now that I've moved to sort of this big global program. But one of my favorite things right now is just getting to meet, and this maybe is a little selfish, but it's getting to meet the people who are behind the games that I love, So sometimes I'll just run into people and they'll casually meet that they were like one of the developers on like Red Dead Redemption or something like that, and I'm like, like, oh my god, you're like a so that is definitely one of my favorite things is getting to meet the talented people behind games. Um, and the games industry is going through it right now. Like I think we're all kind of aware of that they're just really going through like a tough time right now. Like I think they're at a turning point where the whole ethos of the games industry can either go one way or the other, towards like big companies, big monopolies, big profit, or like keeping that heart and soul with some of the indie development studios and things like that. So I am always fascinated by the journey that they're all taking themselves, and how it is intersectional with wish granting and what we're doing. Like I find that part of it so fascinating, and I feel so lucky that I get to do that for my job.
I think that's part of why we like to do our streamathons because we enjoy helping people too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've got a bunch of like-minded people here.
Yes.
So what's the simplest wish that you can think of that you've seen granted and the person who's using like Big Mac and fries simple?
Oh, simple. Okay. Um, I mean, this one was very sweet. So Malaysia, which is you think of it as like a small country, but geographically it's actually huge. So the capital of Malaysia is the city Kuala Lumpur. Am I saying
Kuala
that right?
Lumpur, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, we did a whole time zone thing earlier today. Everybody in
Oh
chat,
yeah,
like it was a whole thing.
it's the
So
whole thing.
geography is not my strong point, but Malaysia geographically is very spread out and huge. So we had one young lady who had lost her leg to a bone cancer, and she lived in the eastern part of Malaysia, which is far away from Kuala Lumpur. So she wanted a rabbit. That was her wish. She wanted a pet rabbit. She wanted a best friend. She lived in a very isolated place, with her family, and she wanted her bestest friend. And so, this wish was amazing because it took place over months, and it involved like how to take care of your rabbit, boot camp, and all these like little moments leading up to the thing. But to get to her, the team had to take a plane. So they've got this beautiful rabbit. They take a plane halfway across the country. They get stuck in the mud like 3 times on the way to deliver this wish. And can you imagine what getting to medical treatment is like for a child? Like she lived away from home for years going through medical treatment before she was able to go home. And so like they finally delivered like her special rabbit, and the love and the pure joy shining out of her face when she got her new best friend, her rabbit, was just the best. And I know that's not like French fries simple, but I think the simple need in that one, the I want a furry best friend, is just like I just thought that was so beautiful.
It's such a simple
That's
sounding
amazing.
request. I'd like a pet rabbit. There's a
Yeah.
lot involved here,
Yeah.
especially when you're in Malaysia.
Really, yeah, we do give like living animals to
Yeah,
people, like make sure that they are prepared and able to take care of them and love them the way they deserve to be loved. So that's a whole process by itself. But yeah, just the fact that I want a rabbit seems so simple, but then the logistics of it were just like mind blowing. But our team there is amazing, and they did such a good job.
that's great.
I like bunnies. Bunnies are,
I
are
do too. I like
fuzzy.
bunnies too. Yeah.
All right, so we have
Yeah.
another question in
All right.
here. So, who can receive a wish, and are there any eligibility requirements?
Yes, there are a few. So they have to be between the ages of 3 and 18 when they are approved. So we know that there are children who are younger than 3 who, go through terrible diagnoses too. But and they can apply, once they're of age. But we like to make sure that a child is able to indicate what their wish is, right? And so that is why we pick the age 3, to make sure that this is a child who can go through the process of determining what their most heartfelt wish is. And then, of course, 18 is when people technically become an adult. I subscribe to the theory that you're not truly an adult until like I don't know 50, something like that. If that, I mean, I'm 47, so I'm like I don't know. I don't. I've only got 3 years to get to adulthood, and I'm feeling the pressure. But yeah, so between the ages of 3 and 18, and if they are approved before they turn 18, they then have so many years where they can take their wish, of course, right? So it's not like they just have to instantly, beat the deadline to their 18th day. They do have to be diagnosed with a critical illness. So that is also one of the eligibility requirements. And so, like I said earlier, we have some illnesses that are automatic approvals for wishes, and we have some that have to go through our committees. And that's really kind of the two big requirements. Like we don't take in socioeconomic factors. We are aware that some socioeconomic groups aren't aware of wishes as much as we would like for them to be. So, in many of our countries, like indigenous populations, minority communities, we are working very hard to try to make sure that they are also receiving the outreach and the messaging that we get in more a higher standard of living countries, right? So, and even within those higher standard of living countries, there are still groups that we struggle to get the messaging out to. There's some cultural, some cultures don't think like they should accept these kind of gifts, for these reasons like that. So yeah, there's a lot of work that we do around the world to try to reach everybody. So yeah, but yeah, like that's basic. The basic qualifications are that age range and that you are diagnosed with a.
Okay. How about remote? Speaking of other wishes, what's the most remote? And you can't say, eastern side of Malaysia.
You mean like geographically?
Yeah, geographically remote. I doubt you've been to Antarctica, but like.
No, no, I would say that's the only continent where we do not have a wish granting program, mainly because it's all adult scientists hanging around there, like and penguins. But yeah,
Dang,
uh,
adults taking all the fun out of it.
I know. I would say so. In Oceania, we have a Pacific Islands program. We used to have like a Pacific Island, like actual like team and everything, but it was not sustainable because of the remoteness of the area. But luckily, our teams in Australia and New Zealand have picked up, those wish granting programs, and those are some very remote places. We're talking like Vanuatu and places like that. Like, so I would say that probably would be, kind of that South Pacific area would probably be the most remote that we're doing right now. Yeah.
Fun.
We got a
So
Yeah.
couple more
I mean,
questions up here.
kids everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's a thing. Unrelated. I want to go to Antarctica and see penguins.
yeah.
But
Me too. Absolutely.
so is
I would
there
even take like the tip of Chile. I really want to go to the tip of Chile and see a penguin.
I mean, I'd be okay with that too. I like penguins.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
cute.
Right. Yeah.
They're cute, and I don't know why they're so cute, but penguins.
They shouldn't
Um,
be, but they are.
They are. Have you seen the little blue ones?
Yes.
no, I've never seen a blue
Oh,
penguin.
Google little blue penguins. I think they're tip of.
Ah,
Are they the tip of South? I think they might be in Africa. I think they might be the tip
South
of
Africa.
Africa.
Little
Yeah.
blue penguins.
They're literally blue.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google that later because
Yeah.
penguins. So is there a wish that gets asked often that you're not able to grant?
Oh, um, that's a really, really good question. We get a lot of kids who want to go to space.
Mm.
So we can't actually do that one.
Again,
But
I
we
will.
do, yeah.
True.
But we do get us, like we do get them to go through astronaut programs and shuttle programs and things like that. I don't think any of them have gone up in the
the vomit comet. Like, I don't think that's happened. You know what I'm talking about? That plane
Yeah.
that does the
Again,
G-forces?
Yep.
Yeah. So
just
I don't think any of them have done that either, but that is one that we get that obviously we cannot grant. I think there are some massive sporting events where it's hit or miss as to whether or not we can grant them. You know, I'm not going to like name any branded event names or anything like that, but there are some that come around every few years that are very highly sought after
Mm.
that, you know, sometimes we cannot give them quite the experience that a wish deserves, you know, like we just don't want to like give them a ticket and stick them up in the stands of something. So those can be a little challenging, but I'm not going to say that we can't grant those. I'm going to say that it can be hit or miss. And sometimes there are celebrities who just you know, we cannot logistically arrange a wish with either, so that can happen as well.
okay.
But space, I would say space is probably
Space
the most common that's just like a straight no.
yet.
I
Just say
know.
yet at least and just hope.
Yeah. We also get a lot of I want to meet a unicorn wishes, and so usually that's a day that involves like going out to a nice, you know, stable or something, and we've got a horse who is cosplaying for the day. So yeah.
See, that's where I get to be really pedantic and say, go see a rhino.
Yeah. Or a narwhal. Could do
Tech
narwhals.
technically a
narwhal.
unicorn, but just still, but
They have a very specific type of unicorn
yeah, I'm
design. I think
sure.
They
Kids
want
and
the
their
horse with horns.
imaginations.
yeah. If we took some of these young girls, and it is mainly young girls who wish for it, but if we took some of them up to a rhino reserve, it may not be exactly
Didn't
what they
quite
have.
hit the same.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna go over well.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Someone
yes,
says a
space.
Pegasus would be much harder to make worse.
Could
yes,
you imagine?
yes.
Yeah. Thank goodness. What do you call it? What's a Pegasus unicorn? I know there's like an
A Pe-
official name for those guys. I only know
Pegasus
because
unicorn.
maybe it might be an alicorn. Is that right?
I don't
That's
know.
what
Okay.
I'm
What I
wanting to
remember seeing it.
say.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think you need to talk to like a 9 or 10-year-old girl to know that for sure.
I mean, or the My Little Pony crowd. The My
I
Little
Or
was
the
Pony
My
one of
Little Pony
crowd.
those
crowd,
at
yep.
one point. I
Yeah,
mean,
the My
Someone is
Little Pony
confirming
crowd.
alicorn is correct.
Alicorn.
Alicorn,
Okay.
there
All
you
right. I
go.
was like, I know there's a specific word for a unicorn Pegasus, but yes, yeah. But yeah, that would be another one that's sadly out of the realm of our possibility.
I mean, you just got to get creative, is
We
all.
do great. Yeah, we do. I mean, the unicorn wishes are adorable. Like they absolutely are because it's
Oh, I'm
all about
sure.
belief. It's
Yeah,
all about belief and imagination.
Yep. Look, a lot of what gets us through the day is just belief.
I Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So we have someone in here that said about how many wishes are granted a year. You said that was like 30,000?
Well, yeah. So Make a Wish America usually does around 15,000, and we usually like right now this year. So last year we did 16,000, and this year we're on track to do probably 1,000 more than that. Considering that we are halfway through the year. So yeah, so we are always trying to grow, but we don't try to grow so fast that we abandon the quality of wishes. So one of the things that we're responsible for at Make a Wish International is making sure that, say, a child in India has exactly the same quality and the wish journey that a child in Canada has, you know, or a child, you know, in a country that has, you know, more resources or things like that. You know, and the same thing for like a child in Sri Lanka. You know, we like to make sure that they have the same experience that a child in the United States would have. So, yeah, that is very important to us as well.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see any more questions over here.
Yeah.
Like I say on my personal stream, when chat's quiet, I get concerned.
they're
I
up to
feel
something. They're up to
it's
something.
I have bored them
exactly.
all away. They're all gone.
It's
I
like
don't think
when
it
the
has
kids
anything to
are
do with that.
quiet in the back room, you go, "Oh no,
Oh no.
something is
That's how
I
I
wrong."
feel when my
say
dogs are
that
quiet. Yeah.
look, I say that every day. I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. He's going to be 14 in like 2 months. Both of them are autistic.
Ooh. Oh no. You
And they
are in
both
for a joy as a teenage mom. Wow.
yeah, and they both have ADHD. So,
Oh. Oh, so
they're
they've got some complex diagnosis happening too. Oh wow. Yeah.
when they're quiet, I like it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I will get up and I will go look to see what they're doing.
Well, hopefully
Most of
that is not up to no good.
Yeah.
most of the time, it involves them being involved in something complicated in Roblox or
Ah,
Minecraft or something, but no,
nice.
silence is not always golden when you have kids.
No.
Isn't Roblox just fascinating?
No.
I just find it fascinating. Like everybody was talking about the metaverse a few years ago, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's just Roblox.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's the same thing, right?
It's
Anyway, that
I
was
don't
just
know.
my hot take on it.
You know what? They have fun with it.
Yeah,
And that is all that matters. Uh,
agreed.
so we have another question that popped in over here.
Oh yeah.
They want to know, can it be problematic to have someone who makes a wish to visit another country, like someone in India who wants to go to Disney?
No, and here's why. Because we have this amazing network, this amazing global network of volunteers and staff and everybody. So when a child in India goes to a country where we have a program, that program takes care of them from the minute they land on the ground to when they leave. Right? So they're kind of a safety net there. We had the perfect example. A few years ago, we had a family from somewhere, I can't remember where, but they had wanted to go to Greece, the islands of Greece for their wish trip. That was what they wanted to do. And there was some like family connection, like it was like, Greek descendants 3 times removed or something like that. Well, they got there and there were all these wildfires that happened while they were there on the island that they were on. So they had to be evacuated and everything else. And our team at Make a Wish Greece was there for them the entire time to make sure they got resettled, to try to save some of their wish trip, things like that. So no, we take care of them. And like even a good example of whenever we don't have a program, I happened to be at a games conference in Sweden a few weeks ago, and we knew that there was a child who's going to a very famous studio in Sweden that I will not name, but like the most popular game in the world. And I went there and I visited the studio basically to make sure that it was compatible with his physical challenges and everything else. So we really do try to make sure that the wish trip, no matter where it is to or no matter where they're from, goes as smoothly and perfectly as possible. So that's a really good question. Most people don't think of that stuff.
I love that. That's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly part of the power of who we is that we are one of the. I think a lot of charities say they do global work, and some of them do, but I do think it's only a handful of us that actually do global work, right? That have those networks in place and have built, these on the ground responsive programs that we have. And I think all of us who are doing that should be super proud of it.
The logistics of all that just makes
I'm
my
very
engineer brain hurt.
Yeah, yeah. It's imagine sitting in like planning meetings for all that stuff
Yeah,
too, right? Like
yeah.
it's like,
that's
yeah. Yes.
that's
But through much trial and tribulation and 45 years of progress, we have really created something special.
I guess like if a kid has some form of physical limitations, I'm assuming that's taken into account with their wish. So like you can't really
Yes.
take an iron lung to Disney, at least not
Yeah, I
well.
mean, I don't think there's many iron lungs around anymore.
No,
I could
but
be wrong about that.
uh
But yes, I mean, and think about, I mean, something that most people don't consider is just the insurance of sending a medically fragile child anywhere,
right.
right? Like most insurance companies won't cover that. So we have to build special relationships with insurance companies at the country and global level to ensure that if something happens that it can be covered, if a kid ends up in a hospital in another country or something like that. So I mean there's so many layers and levels to think about on stuff like this. But yes, one of the great things that we are very very good at it is ensuring that all of the medical equipment necessary for a child is waiting for them at the location they arrive at.
Good.
There's some special places around the world children can stay who have, there's a great place in South Florida right near Disney World called Give Kids the that is really accommodating. It is built just for medically, fragile children who travel. So, there's all sorts of resources around the world. They're really good at making sure that kids feel safe and secure traveling.
That's good.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Um
So I had a question that was messaged to me in Discord.
Oh,
If
okay.
the person doesn't
that's
want to know,
cheating.
Not in chat.
Use
not in
chat.
chat.
Okay.
Um, So, so when a Tiltify campaign is set up
Mhm.
for whether it's a World of Warcraft guild or whoever
Anybody.
sets it up, how do you guys make the determination where the funds go?
Ooh, good question. So that is your determination actually whenever you set up a campaign. So let's say Phil from Poland decides
Thank
he's
you,
going to
Phil.
make a campaign. Thank you, Phil. Phil from Poland. We don't have a Make-A-Wish Poland, right? So Phil can say, "I want it to stay with the global program," and you guys use it to, send wherever you want to. Or he can select from one of our 53 countries. So when you sign up and create a campaign, you get a list of countries you can choose. And sometimes people just blow right past that. They're like, "I don't want to look at this list." And then I always reach out to them to make sure if they have not chosen a country, I usually reach out and say, "Hey, what do you want to do with this money? Where do you want it to impact? I see that you're from, New Zealand. Do you want it to stay in New Zealand or do you want it to go somewhere else?" So we really do work very hard with, this particular platform to try to make sure that it's going to where people want it to go. But it is the content creator's choice.
So in our case, it would be send it wherever you think you need it
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Yeah.
is what
I
you
mean,
would get from us.
I mean, and another thing that I just want to recognize for you guys is it's been a really, really tough year, for charities. It's been a tough year, I think, for everybody mentally, emotionally, all of that. But one of the things that's definitely happening around the world is that people are holding on to their money tighter because they are worried, and that definitely has an impact on charity. So I just want to say that it's so special that you guys have picked us for that reason, right? Anytime I get a new fundraiser, a new campaign on Tiltify, I get so excited, and every dollar matters, absolutely. Every campaign matters. Every person who chooses us matters. So thank you for that too. Like it's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have one more question that's
Mhm.
actually in the chat and didn't get sent to me in
Aha.
Discord. Um, so are you aware of how to make a wish start?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow, you guys have good questions. So there was a young boy. His name was Christopher Grecius, and he lived in Arizona. And Christopher's wish was to be a state trooper for the day. He wanted to ride along with the state troopers, be a state trooper for the day. There's actually a movie and a book that have been written about him called The Bubblegum Trooper. And so Christopher's mother wanted to make this happen. Christopher had leukemia, and at that time, 45 years ago, leukemia had a much, much higher fatality rate than it does right now. Like it's actually fairly rare for a child to pass away from leukemia now compared to 45 years ago. And so yeah, so so Christopher's mom reached out to, the highway patrol of Arizona and arranged for him to be a trooper for the day. And she and I believe three of the people involved in planning that day, the state troopers, went on to form Make-A-Wish. And so they were the start of Make-A-Wish America. And she's still involved with us. I got to meet her a few years ago. She came to our conference in Amsterdam, and her name is Linda, and she is absolutely a force to be reckoned with still. And she loves what her son's dream turned into. Like it absolutely has made her life immeasurably fulfilled.
That's
I love
amazing.
that.
Fantastic. So it's just started with a wish.
Hey,
Exactly.
and sometimes that's all it takes to start a good thing is for one person to want something and then to carry it on. My so my uncle used to be a Baltimore County police officer
Uh-uh.
and he worked with Hopkins.
Oh, okay.
And if there was ever a kid in there that wanted to go out and ride in a police car when he was
Yeah.
off shift, he would be there.
Nice.
He would
Awesome.
go and
That's
get
really
them
good. That's amazing.
and he would get the kid and their parent and they would go for a ride for like an hour.
I hope with lights and sirens.
Oh,
Absolutely. I
absolutely,
really hope he did that.
absolutely. Yeah, he had the department that he worked for, the branch, knew he was doing it, and he had permission to turn his sirens on whenever he wanted to.
Love it. That's
Good.
so cool. I love it when kids want to do like vehicle stuff, where they want to like I want to drive a fire truck. I want to fly in a helicopter, stuff like that because it just it's so doable, but also it's so cool at the same time. Like, I want to drive around in a police car with lights and sirens flashing, right? Not for bad reasons, but for good reasons.
In the front seat, not the back seat.
Yeah,
Yep.
in the front seat. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So yeah,
That's
that's really cool. That's good on your dad. That's all. Or your
well, it wasn't
uncle,
my dad.
sorry.
It
Your
was
uncle.
my uncle, and
Yeah.
it's coincidentally he was my cousin whose daughter got the wish from Make a Wish. It was her
Ah,
father. So
gotcha.
it all just kind of plays in there. I have
Full
ridden in a
circle.
police car with the sirens on, both in the front and the back, not for bad reasons, because
She says now.
I told my uncle I want to ride in the front seat and the back seat, and he came and got me from school one day. I was in
Nice.
I think I was in like 4th grade, and he came and he got me in his police cruiser. He showed up with the
Oh,
lights
that's
on, and everybody
cool.
was like,
Ooh.
"You wouldn't believe the questions I got the day
I
after."
bet. I
It
bet,
was
yeah.
It's a good thing I don't have kids because I'd see that and be like, "Oh, you do want to ride in the back seat? Well, put your hands behind your back, please,
Yeah.
and
We're
let's
gonna
get
make this
it
happen
like in front of the kids." See,
one way or another. This is
yeah.
Oh.
happening.
So we have someone asking, the name of the book is Bubblegum Trooper.
I
Is
believe that's,
that
yeah, the Bubblegum Trooper. Let me just double check. Let me do a quick Google.
Google is a wonderful thing.
It is on the
I
fly
guys,
fact checking.
Bubblegum Trooper. Little Bubblegum Trooper. That's what it's called. A
There you go.
mother's true story of how the Make-A-Wish Foundation began.
There we go.
There's your answer.
Yep,
Hooray!
Uh
there you go.
so does anybody else have any more questions?
I'm good. That's more of a question for chat or the cheaters that use Discord instead of chat. What the heck?
I get some questions you just want to be anonymous. I get that 100%. Absolutely.
Bubblegum Trooper. Yeah.
I mean, I may have to find the book and read it
Yeah.
Yeah,
because reasons.
it's good.
So some fun facts about our streamathon for anybody tuning in that is not aware. This is number 17. At this point, we've raised over $62,000 for different charities. We started in 2016 with Toys for Tots. We have a wide array of charities that we do use. It's not an exclusive list. We do look outside of what we have done in the past. Uh, Date for Streamathon is July 26th, and it will be running from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and that is Pacific Standard Time. Um, and I've had questions about prizes, so we do raffle off prizes for participants as well as
Mm,
for donors. We have a Secret Labs chair um, that we have two people who have donated the money to
nice.
raffle it off. So I have one that I won in a previous one, so I can confirm that it is a real thing.
Real.
Um,
We
oh,
have a
I
special guest.
see
Sorry,
a doggy.
poking he's poking me.
Oh,
That's
hello.
okay.
Who,
We like
who's our
puppy
special
visitors.
guest?
This is Lemmy.
Lemmy.
He's named after Lemmy Kilmeister from Motorhead.
Oh,
So
Oh,
yes.
R.I.P. Lemmy.
Yep, R.I.P. Lemmy. So yeah, he is a
puppy.
Boston Terrier Frenchie mix. So, and he's very mad because it's raining today and he did
I,
not get to go outside.
oh, poor
Oh,
guy.
poor baby.
That's
But
why he
yes,
has airplane ears. He's very
I l-
unhappy.
I love airplane ears, whether it's a dog or a cat doing. I think it's just the cutest thing that's ever that it's just a thing. It's adorable,
He's so moody.
and
So
I love
moody.
it. I love it. Um, so we are still taking donations of prizes. So if anybody has anything they want to donate, please just reach out to me on Discord. My name is Shay in Discord.
What?
I'm not hard to find. What?
Your
What do you
name's
mean what?
Shay in Discord? Never would have guessed.
Nah, it used to be Shaylee, but I am not on the shaman anymore. I am now on the paladin. The one thing I said I would never do is switch to a melee, but here I am. Um Look, you can ask Snow about that. How long did I swear I'd never do a melee?
Yeah.
For
How many
years.
how many years have you known me at this point? Almost
It's
10?
been a while. Yeah.
Oh.
It's been a hot minute. Yes, I have known Snow longer than you, Jazzy.
Show off.
Um, so yeah, so that's Streamathon. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
We will have um keys being streamed on the same Twitch that you're watching this. We'll have a whole bunch of special guests that are going to pop in and talk during the streamathon. You get to watch keys. If you want your key run, key signups will be out the Tuesday before streamathon.
Mm-hmm.
And the donation link will be live approximately like a week to 10 days out.
Yeah. So you can start donating before. It does not require a donation to get your key run. We don't promise timing them, but our key runners are usually pretty good. So I'm one of them
Absolutely.
for the record. Team Jellyfish has risen again. It is okay.
Our
We're here.
I
Harbinger
will be running
Hammers.
these
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So
We got
Yeah,
a bunch of
so
key runners here.
yeah, you've got all three of us will be on different teams
Mm.
during Streamathon at some point. I think Jazzy is one of the crazy people that goes all day.
All 12 hours. Go big or go home.
Wow.
how many teams did we have in our last streamathon?
I think we had close to 12?
It was like 12 or
12 or
13.
13
We
teams.
had a so that we did have one external team
Mhm.
that helped out last year from Oasis. So if any of you guys are listening, thank you so much for participating. We had amazing feedback from everybody who you ran a key for. If you want to come back again, we will gladly have you back.
Take
Um, how many keys did we run? It was over
uh
200, wasn't it?
it was just north of 200 keys in the 12 hours. Yeah. And I think there was one team that just absolutely smashed. I think they targeted low level keys, but they ended up getting like double the next highest because why not? You guys are
Hey,
insane.
sometimes it's fun to just go beat up a two, okay?
I feel that, but for 12 hours, that gets a little old.
Hey, if that's what they want to do, the okay, so we're being told that there were 17 keys or 17 teams
Yep.
last streamathon.
Perfect. Thank you, Lily, for the fact check.
And someone is saying, nope, shaman calling you Shay.
From our local shaman.
Yes, from the shaman.
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah.
you're doing there, Lily. I'm glad you're not biased or anything. So, yeah, we've done. I think I've been a part of all of them except for 2.
Oh, wow.
Because I was traveling and then they said, "Hey, streamathon's this day." I was like, "But I'm gone." No. So,
I've been a
unfortunately.
part of every one that but I missed the first few because I hadn't joined the guild yet.
Yeah.
Ah,
You were there for the second one because I was there for the second one.
I
It was
well
27.
I
It was 2017 when we came over.
wasn't it feels more like 2018, but
Yeah,
okay.
it was 2017. We've been here for a minute now.
2017 was just
Um,
last year, right? Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me live
yeah.
in my
Sure.
delusion.
that's someone says, wait, Snow wasn't always the boss. I'm learning some new Kate lore.
Start of BFA is when I took over the guild.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I
I came over with Snow from
During
another
Legion.
server. During
Yeah.
You gotta
I'm the
find your
newest
people.
one here.
We've been
I,
around for a minute.
I came over in what, 2018?
It
Yeah,
wasn't
something
that
like
it
that. It
wasn't
was
it
not that.
was
Yeah.
it was like 6 months or so after we came over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And someone would say little baby Jazzy.
Yes, that is correct.
And
Oh,
so we're being told 233 keys were run last streamathon.
yep.
And as far as groups outside the guild, if they want to help and contribute to Streamathon, you would want to reach out to me in Discord,
Yes. We can get you set
and
up and
we
everything.
will get you set up where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
We just ask that you follow the pillars.
Follow the
Yep,
pillars.
exactly. And I will fill you in when all the information that you need uh in that regard.
Oh.
So,
Awesome. Well, thank you
we
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks for hanging
Yeah.
out with us, April. We do
Yeah,
have some
fun.
questions that are not about the Streamathon that we had submitted ahead of time.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you're welcome to hang out. You're welcome to leave whenever you need to go, April. That's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to say a word about that.
Well, I am here to help. I am going to go because this one is literally trembling with his need to go outside.
Oh,
Oh,
buddy.
But I know he's so dramatic. Did I mention he's dramatic?
Yes.
But yeah, no, this was fun. I love chatting with all of you. What a fun crew. But I will be here to help. Just send me some DMs if you need anything, and I can't wait for July.
awesome.
It's gonna be great.
We
Thanks.
appreciate it. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
Great.
hanging
coming,
out.
April.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right.
All
Yes, the
right.
stream is now completely dickered. I'm aware. Please hold. Nope. Shay is not Jazzy. Hang on. Oh, no. That's the wrong thing. Discord is dumb, so bear with me here. Oh, that one's Hi Snow. There you are. Ah! It keeps moving the wrong thing.
Someone is saying this is the real end boss.
Yeah, right? Unfortunately, I can't have the same thing set up for everybody.
Hey, Snow, your 3-person is the Lich King's helmet.
Nice.
Now you all get to see the how the sausage is made. Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
There, now I'm in my spot. It's okay, guys. Hooray! All right, we have questions though. Oh wait, Shay is still
While
very wrong.
while you're playing with that, I'm going to start with some of the questions. We've already answered some of them. Um,
Ha.
so again, donations will be live a week to 10 days out. You'll be able to sign your keys up Tuesday before the streamathon. Um, so let's start with this one from previous streamathons. What was your favorite and least favorite dungeons?
I think we covered this yesterday when we were prepping some of these things. It's Toll to Gore. It will always be Toll to Gore. It can die in a fire. Along with Shrine of the Storms, same expansion, die in a fire, never again.
Tazavesh Marketplace
Those are
is up there with me
the worst
too.
ones.
Yeah, and those are coming back.
See,
I know,
like
I
Tazavesh.
saw that.
I do, but I don't like it so much when a lot of RP is in. Even though they supposedly adjust the timer for it, it still feels like you're losing time to the RP.
It feels like you're waiting. I'll grant you that. Just the thing
Yeah.
that I always remember when I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. Everybody else also has to wait in the same line.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So the other side of it, I don't mind so much, but I don't like the marketplace side. And Totagore can go throw itself off a ledge and catch on fire because
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
don't like that dungeon.
I will find ways to pull the other floors. I know they claim to have fixed all the
Yeah.
things, but don't worry. I'm special. I will find a way.
Chain Lightning would
Yeah.
find a bug and go pull stuff for
And
the
don't forget,
floor
I used
above
to
and the
play.
floor below.
I used to play
Oh, the
Balance Druid
Druid. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and
Starfall.
Starfall through the
Starfall.
walls of uh oh, what is it? The Medivh dungeon
Oh,
that was in
Karazhan.
Karazhan?
Karazhan. Oh man, that place was awful for that.
Oh yeah, that one was
That
bad
was when I
too.
still mained Balance Druid. Yeah.
For the same reason, it pulls
Mhm.
stuff through the floor. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or the walls.
Or the walls.
Both the walls or the ceiling.
Yeah.
It
Twilight
it
Dev.
didn't.
Yeah, that was a
It
thing.
didn't it
Oh, I
didn't
remember that.
Yeah, look, I'm sad that they didn't bring that back with the,
They did.
and
It's
have
just
it be
neutered.
it's not good though.
Not
Yeah,
good. So nobody
yeah.
runs it.
I wish it was good because I had fun with it, even on the
I
shaman.
I did not. It scaled with HP, and as a monk, as a
So that
brewmaster
meant as
monk,
tanks, yeah.
didn't do
See, I
crap for damage.
see, I played druid tank at that point, which
Yeah.
had tons of health. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it's just great.
It would be
Definitely
good
didn't.
for DK now if it still scaled with health, but
Yeah, that would be a yeah. I'm kind of sad that they made it not so great anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sad, people. Um,
Ooh, but we answered the fun trolly one, the least favorite. What about favorite dungeons?
ooh.
You're not allowed to say freehold.
But
I
the RP in there is actually pretty funny. I
It
enjoy
is.
it
it for
It is.
that.
is.
Oh,
Um,
the ring of booty. Yeah.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
ran that one today actually in time walking. So
Oh, is that what time walking is this time
time
around?
walking is
Yeah.
BFA this time
BFA this week
around.
right
I
now.
am I am all kinds of behind with
Yep.
that. I need to do them
So yeah,
because
I got
reasons.
my pirate dragon mount today. So
Nice.
if it's still
Nice.
bugged, you better do it before they fix it on Tuesday.
I
Uh,
know, Jazzy. I'm looking at you
why are you looking at me? What do you what
because you have tunes that you need to do it on. I need to
don't
do it.
remind me. But let's see here. Favorite dungeon from streamathons. I mean, that's just favorite dungeon. Oh, obvious. Waycrest.
Oh,
I
Waycrest
love
is a good one
Waycrest.
too.
Is
Yeah,
it?
Waycrest.
that's another one that has really good RP in it, and
Yeah.
that one's also in this time walking.
I did not get it when
I
they did
actually
my
ran
time
that
walking.
one. I ran that a couple days ago.
I
Nice.
like Waycrest.
Yeah, Waycrest is
Waycrest,
good.
Yeah.
Waycrest, Waycrest is fun.
Waycrest is fun. I will always run a Waycrest, and that is hard to say apparently.
Yeah, it's funny that we're all in agreement on that one. So if you could remove one affix permanently, which one would it be and why?
Fortified.
Yeah.
Mm, that's fair.
As
Although,
as a tank,
although,
fortified.
Fortified.
Always.
Yeah, you're not
al-
wrong.
although Ret Pally go burr,
I,
and if it has more health, it takes longer to die, so get more AOE cleaves off, and it goes burr.
all I'm hearing is
Yeah,
blah
but it's
blah blah.
still a
My numbers. Blah
slog
blah blah.
though.
It
Like
is, it is still a slug.
I always found tyrannical better than fortified because like once you learn the boss mechanics, even if the boss fight takes a little longer,
hmm
you still sometimes on fortified weeks, at least in the past, you couldn't pull as big, and so it just was a slog and a time waste to get to the boss in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I feel
that's what I
like
hated.
just from a timing a dungeon perspective, once you know them, tyrannical is way better than fortifying.
Yeah.
There are some bosses that I think in the past, the tyrannical versions of them is just like nothing is even trying to kill
It got to
you,
the
and
point
it's
where you couldn't, yeah,
yeah, it's just
you just
too
couldn't.
much
It was,
slog.
yeah.
Speaking of bad dungeons, the last boss of Shrine on tyrannical.
Shrine
Oh,
of the Storms on oh oh
yeah, yeah. I'm remembering those days.
don't put that in the world. Nobody needs that.
Someone is saying anything with Zalatath jabbering can go away, but hear me out. Bring back Arcway.
Arcway? Ooh,
Ooh,
it's been
That would
so
be a
long since
tough
I've
one.
run Arcway. That one changed week to week, right? Like you would go
Yeah, where
right
you
or
went would
left.
change.
Yeah. It's been so long since I've run that. That was Legion. That was the first Mythic
mm-hmm.
Plus. That's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute, and I never want to set foot back in that place again because reasons. Someone says they miss tanking the other side.
I do not.
I
It
never
was all
tanked it.
fine. It was all fine except for the one wing,
Yes.
Yeah, is that the one with
the
the
fairy wing or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
The Night Fae Wing. And
the
y'all
night fae
probably
wing.
have a different reason. For me, it's the puddle.
The puddle.
any short class knows, or any short race knows, there is a puddle.
Yes. I
Someone says they
remember
want to see
running that
Jazzy.
dungeon with you before.
Yeah. Someone says they want to see Jazzy get stuck under the flowers.
That dang lily pad. Ah.
Oh my
You're
god.
trying to do a skip, you have to be really tight against the thing, and oh no, I went underneath it, now I'm stuck. Oh, no, not the other side. Not the other side.
And now we have
Oh.
what class spec do you prefer running Mythic Plus with, and what class do you dread
So not
running with?
yours, what do you like to group with?
Oh, what do you like to group
Mm.
with?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And what do you dread grouping with? This is kind of a personal one, but for me, Prez Evoker and a Brewmaster Monk don't jive. They do not jive. I don't
Hmm.
want one. You can be the best Prez Evoker, and that's great, but sorry, just the way those two classes work together is
I am
horrible.
surprised you did not say a priest because you
Why?
don't want PI.
Oh, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, PI doesn't exist.
So I'm
Um,
gonna I'm gonna get in trouble for this one, but I'm gonna say Pally because they pull everything.
I
What is that?
mean,
Divine Storm
divine
goes burr?
storm. It
Uh-huh.
has a mind of its own. Like if you shoot it this way, if there is if there's a mob like 20 feet on the other side of the ones that you're attacking, it's getting pulled. Divine Storm is the new Starfall. It's going across the room to say hi to whoever is
Oh,
over
God.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, any class or
Yeah.
spec that decides to pull beyond what the tank pulls. And then my
I mean,
favorite
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
is
it's not on purpose.
if you're in a pug and somebody pulls for you and then they stare at you like, "Yeah,
Oh,
you're
I had
tanking
that
it."
happen the other day. I was not a
Oh,
happy camper.
like
I get
ways to
that you
tick off your
think
tank.
I'm pulling too slow, but there's I'm probably pulling slow because my cooldown's not back up yet.
You
Or
used to pull too slow.
I
a
know, I
mob.
don't anymore, trust me.
Back when you were learning to tank.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Oh, I know. You used to always pull for me.
I used to be. You used to. Look. She would be sitting here with two mobs tanking two mobs, and I'm like, Snow, we ain't ever gonna time this key unless you pull more. And then I would take on my shaman. I would go ghost wolf form, go up the hill, grab more stuff, and bring it to her.
Oh god. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was just fine tanking the mobs that I brought.
Yeah. I go tell the DPS that if they want to tank the dungeon, they should go roll a tank, and if not, let me do my job, because you're not looking at the healer's mana or at my cooldowns or at
Yeah.
how hard this one particular mob that you refuse to kill, even though I put a skull on it, is actually killing me. Can you please interrupt it so we can move it along? Oh wait, no, you're just okay. I'm not bitter at all.
Well, see, this is what grip's
Nah.
for.
Must be nice. I have Clash. That's just as good, right? Right? That's just as good as Clash as
Although
Grip.
to
Yeah,
be fair, then they start putting mobs in that can't be gripped,
I know.
just to
They
piss
did
me off.
they did mention about that in because I was watching a thing earlier today and with the patch notes because DK changes. Yeah. But they mentioned about Grip, and because of A bombs, they had to make mobs not grippable. That was their
Mm,
wording, not mine. But with the spoiler alert removal of A bombs,
mm.
more
I'm
mobs
not
should be
that sad
grippable.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm not that sad about that.
So
It's nice, but it also gets me in trouble as un- you know,
yeah,
because there's some fights where you can't use it, and
right.
if you accidentally use it at the wrong time, you wipe.
Yep.
And so I'm perfectly happy having it gone. I'd
Yeah.
much rather have
Control.
control over
Yeah.
exactly when I grip. Yeah.
I
There are
agree.
some DKs that are gonna tell you you're being
Oh,
blasphemous.
I know.
Yeah. It's fine. I
Okay.
mean,
They're allowed to be wrong.
I mean,
Well, they actually have several dungeons in the pool where you can't use a bomb on certain bosses
Hmm.
this time around. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm, uh, it's not the worst thing.
All of
It doesn't do
you,
much damage anymore, so it's like it kind of
yeah.
isn't that much fun anyway.
All of
So
you memers in chat saying skull means don't touch it. That's what you thought it means. I will fight you.
oh my God. Uh, so I have two different key groups that I run with. Part of it is same people. Um, on Wednesday nights, we have a Blood DK as tank, Resto Druid as healer. We have two Ret Paladins and a DPS monk on Wednesday. It's all the
oh, the
melee.
all melee group.
All
Ooh.
the melee. And then on Sunday, it's the same Blood DK and the same Resto Druid. But then we have a myself on my paladin, but then we have a different paladin or evoker or druid or whoever she decides she's bringing, and then we have a warlock or ret pally or whoever he decides he's bringing. It's the same people,
Same
but
people, just different tunes.
well, I mean, so two of the people are different depending on the night. But Snow has run with us before.
Mhm.
We have fun. Sometimes things go really bad. Most of the time they don't, but it's okay. Priory is all I'm gonna say.
Great Priory.
Oh, I think
But
the last time I was in Priory, I think it was actually earlier this week or maybe it was last week. Uh, and there were I think 3 different instances of how did those mobs pull?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's so much stuff in that place that Pats, you're gonna get extra stuff.
These mobs were not padding. These
Uh,
mobs were definitely not targeted at all.
That was a tab fail. Or
Uh-huh.
I Divine Storm decided it wanted to go and make some friends. I don't know what to tell you on that. There's so many gassers in that place.
There are. There are.
And someone
Oh.
that is definitely my least favorite dungeon this season.
someone says,
Definitely.
"No, no, no, they were padding.
You're pat no, uh-huh. Yeah.
I promise they were walking. They wanted to come and see what was going on. They had to come and see us."
I'll grant you they were walking after they were hit first. Then
Hmm.
they started running. Oh god.
Oh man. So
Uh
do we anybody have a mental checklist or ritual that they do before they start running a key?
well,
I
I
probably should because I have walked into a key in my raid talents more than once.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say check the talent build.
so I have one, but there's a running joke on Empire and Palp, who I know is in chat. This is you, bud. Um, Whenever the ready check goes up before we put the key in, that's when he has to go use the restroom. Every single time. Not the 15 minutes before that when we're still talking and chit chatting. No, 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 no. That's fine. But you hear that Pavlovian ready check sound pop up, now he's got to go.
Of course, because why wouldn't you? Because
It
isn't don't you know that's when you need to go
that
use the potty?
we've termed it Pavlovian response. That's what it is. And then I have the one I do, and this is actually helpful. At, at the countdown, because you should be doing a countdown. Don't at me. I will yell out, "Not my key," when it's not my key, as a prompt to somebody else to put in their key.
Look, so the game hates me with
Mm.
keys and it likes to give me Cinderbrew and Floodgate. So we don't do my keys very frequently. Although this week I have a decent one. I have a motherload,
Ooh, not bad.
which I'll take. But the last like 2 months it's either been Floodgate or freaking Cinderbrew. I'm
I
like,
still don't mind
why?
Floodgate as much as I mind Priory, but
I don't like Floodgate.
I
There's too.
it's not my favorite, but
I'd take
it's
Priory
fine.
over Floodgate, but yeah, they're definitely giving each other a run for their money.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
take Priory over Floodgate
There's just so
any
many
day of the week.
casters in both of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the elementals with the kelp and the bombs and the shredders that put swirly things on the ground that
Oh, the shredders
make
are just
and
annoying.
they make like they put the things down in the worst possible places.
Well, they
So
put them
then to
down
make it
on you.
yeah, I know. So I got to
That's
a
it.
point where when I see one of them doing it, I will turn around and I will run over there
And drop it
that
far
way
away. That's the
so I
correct
can
way to handle that mechanic. Yeah.
not everybody I have seen way too many people that just stand there.
Oh, I just rotate, but also tank life.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah,
I
pretty much.
hate it. I hate it.
Those
I
saws
hate it.
also don't hurt. Like, what are you complaining about?
Maybe not you,
Yeah.
but no, my thing is I have to check to make sure I'm in the right
Mm.
spec
Yeah.
because I too forget and the first key of the week I'll be like, "Oh, I'm doing this in raid spec, guys. Sorry."
So that's uh it's not really like a mental checklist for keys specifically that I have, but I actually have. Thank you, developer of Talent Loadout EX. I appreciate you. I have it set up so that I have groups. I have my raid group and my M plus group per season, and each one of those has a raid boss and a raid and a dungeon. No matter if they're duplicate, I don't care. Each one has their own, and I just hit that at the start of every boss,
Huh.
every dungeon. I don't care if it's duplicate because then if I
I
do
might
want to
need
say
that.
randomly change something just for Priory, I want to take Dave for whatever reason 1 week, I just change the one. And it's really handy. So anytime I go into a boss for raid or even a dungeon, it's just I switch to that specific dungeon talent spec.
Solution to your problem, bring an elemental shaman who is spec into elementalist, I think is what it's called, where they have Dave.
You
Yes, the
no,
rock. The rock
no.
is Dave.
The Rock is Rocky. We've covered this.
The rock is Dave.
Rocky,
No, hold
Rocky,
on. The rock is Dave.
Rocky.
The fire elemental is Steve,
That
and the
I'm
storm
fine with.
elemental is Stanley.
I am perfectly fine with those other ones. The Rock Elemental's name is Rocky. Dave is my statue, and Angry Dave is his brother, the ox spirit that comes in that nobody takes right now. That's how that works. Sorry to break it to you, but
This is
this is
this is an
lore.
argument that me and Jazzy have had many, many, many times over the rock elemental.
I'm sorry. Fen agrees with me. Crisp agrees with me. You're outnumbered, Chica.
I don't care. The rock elemental will always be Dave.
Rocky. That's a weird way. I think we're saying the same thing, but you're pronouncing it weird.
Uh, Anywho,
Uh,
what boss mechanic do you just not find fun?
is this dungeon or
Shredders.
raid?
It doesn't matter.
Um, any mechanic that I have to run away from the boss. So, Floodgate, second boss. Yeah, where he's charging out and going away. Yeah, no, screw that noise. Get back here.
I don't want to have to chase the boss.
Yeah.
I
Just
hate I hate those tank mechanics that are you have to get out of the raid.
Yep.
They're just annoying.
Or
And
same in Floodgate, the last
yeah.
boss, we have to kite this spark over the
well,
water.
or in Sprocket, where you
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
And they love
Those.
to use that mechanic. They
Yeah.
love to make tanks do that bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm like the slowest tank. Like knock it off.
Yeah,
I
right?
can't I can't DPS make stuff go burr if I'm running away.
Oh god, and Bandit. Bandit is just so so bad. We pulled it this week, and just because of RNG, every time I had to drop a puddle, it was on the opposite side of the room that I needed
Oh
to actually
no.
run. And there was one point where I need to get over there to drop a pylon, and I literally have no rolls. I have used all 3 of my rolls, Tiger's Lust, and I even had a time spiral in there, and did not have enough mobility on a monk to do it.
Yeah. How do you
My
think I
horse is
feel?
on cooldown. My horse is on
Yeah.
cooldown.
Ugh. That
Look, when the
mm.
horse is on cooldown, I'm a wheelchair class.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. I was playing my pally today, and it was like using the horse, and it's like, I'm slow. No horse.
Yeah.
Allie brings up another good one, the dog boss in Mechagon for having to LOS that since they fixed it.
Oh my god,
Oh.
yes.
Everybody hates that. It's horrible.
Look, so I will use Bubble for one of those so I can stand there and smack the boss while he's
I
doing his
have
flame
used
jet
diffuse
thing.
magic and just stand there and be like, "Yep, I'm eating this."
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Unfortunately, I
Fen.
could, but I have to use AMS for the debuff instead. So
I mean,
Wait, there's a
that's
debuff? I
there.
didn't notice.
There's a debuff.
There-
I don't think I've ever tanked that
there's
place.
one that gets dispelled from the
it's
healers.
the healer dispels it, does damage to the whole group, so I can
Oh,
ignore it.
I
I
I
can't.
can
mean,
ignore every so often. I can't ignore everyone, but
That
if
dis
you AMS before it comes out, it just doesn't happen.
that distinctly sounds like a healer problem. So
I mean, sure.
I'm kidding. I love you, healers. I'm kidding.
says the group of people that doesn't have a single healer in it.
I do too. Healy Jazz exists.
When was the last time you played Healing Jazzy?
Look. It
You
was
should know
only a couple
better.
months ago when I was leveling him. That's beside the point.
I mean, but yeah, no, I agree with you. Any mechanic that makes me have to run away,
mhm.
I don't like.
No. That's just anything that I can't do my numbers
Mhm.
is just bad.
I
Especially
can't
when you're a
I
tank
can't
that
smack it.
requires, hitting something.
Mhm.
Or
I
if you're a tank that requires hitting something to heal and you're running out to take damage,
That
that I mean,
yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
blood DK problems. Look, I can't hurt it if I can't smack it. If
Exactly.
if if I'm over there and the boss is right here, I can't smack it from over there because
Uh,
reasons.
yeah.
So we have one on here that's streamathon related.
Yes.
So are there any memorable moments from previous streamathons that you can think of?
I
I
have
can think of
one.
Jazzy singing.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
those of you that missed it, I sang the entirety of Bohemian Rhapsody live on stream, and you're welcome or not welcome, depending on what you think.
Hey, you know what? I say we set a donation number during a time period, and if we hit that donation number, Jazzy
Oh
should sing
no.
again.
Oh no. My, your poor
I'm
stream.
volunteering. I'm volunteering you.
I've been voluntold. This is horrible.
We have to decide what that number is,
Yes.
Jazzy.
Where is this clip? I don't know. I think it was on my stream. This is a long time ago, bud.
It has been a minute, but I remember it.
What did I make one of our raiders do? I don't remember. I've made them do a lot. Oh, no, I am not doing that at all. I am not getting a whole gallon of milk and pouring it over my head.
Ouch.
And
That's
for the
a waste
record,
of milk. Milk is expensive.
I did not make him do that. He offered to do that. Offered.
Oh man. So do
No,
we have any other memorable moments from Streamathon that we can think of?
there's one year, this is back in BFA, that one of the people in Team Jellyfish had a metric ton of those wands that made everybody a Murloc.
Oh.
So for the entire 12 hours, every group was Murlocs, which is really interesting on some of the dungeons where, you're fighting Murlocs.
Yeah. Who's your friend
Can't
and
tell
who's
friend
the
from
real
foe.
Murloc?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Kermit, if you're listening, we love you.
Speaking of Murlocs, so Snow knows this. I don't know if I told you or not, Jazzy, but I collect Tea Turtle reversible plushies. They should make a Murloc one.
They absolutely should.
I would totally buy it because
Blizzard, if you're listening, merch.
I I need a Murloc Tea Turtle to put
Yes.
on my desk with my collection of them.
Do they have them like permanently happy or permanently sad, or does it depend on your mood?
Depends on my mood. Right now, they're all happy.
Well, that's good. I'd be scared if they weren't. Oh
It's an
no,
angry axolotl.
she's angry.
I'm not, but I wanted to show you what he looked like
Okay,
angry
that's good.
because axolotl
Hmm.
reasons.
Yes.
Uh,
Do you want to stir the pot? Because I love this next question for stirring pots.
we'll get that. We'll get that in a minute. What advice do you guys have for players who are new to Mythic Plus? I will tell you, do not be afraid to do the twos. You will learn from them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely say work your way up. Don't try to start at like a 7 or an 8.
I mean, you could if you got a really good group that's good that's willing to carry you. But if you want to
But then
learn the
you
dungeons,
don't learn anything that way though
start
if people carry you. So
do them on Mythic Zero and work your way up.
I have my piece of advice is a singular word. Interrupt.
yeah,
For the
learn what the
love
good
of God.
spells are
Yes.
to interrupt too.
Fire is bad.
Yes.
If you're it will hurt. And your
Yes.
healer will hate you. And you'll hate yourself if you're new to Mythic Plus and you are the healer.
And, oh yes.
But also if you have something like bigwigs, or some of those that they'll even sometimes call out the important interrupts versus the less important ones.
And Fenrir brings up a good
Yeah.
thing for us to plug. We have a mentorship program. If you would
Mm.
like to improve your gameplay, check out the Discord for a mentorship program and see if you can't be paired with somebody who can show you the ropes. There you go. Shameless self plug. Aha. But yes,
Being said
interrupt.
bye.
And also, this is again largely for the tanks. You are not an MDI tank. I will help you out
Yeah.
there. You are not them. So don't do those pulls if you can't handle them. No, yeah, I'm talking to you, Fen, specifically. You're not. Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, you ready to stir the pot, Chassis?
I'm so ready to stir this pot. Let's go.
All right. So the lever punishments that are in here. What are we thinking about that?
11.2 introduces a new system that is automated that if you leave a dungeon without a vote or consensus from the rest of the group, you do that excessively, you get basically a scarlet letter. So whenever you sign up for a group, it says this person leaves frequently on the sign up. This affects pugs far more than regular groups.
Yeah, so I feel like there's potential with this, but make it be like a deserter buff, not something you're stuck with.
There's a happy medium in here, and I just don't know what that is. I think it needs to last a bit longer than just the 30-minute deserter debuff. But it needs to be difficult to get, relatively easy to remove through good gameplay. But I don't know what
Oh,
those numbers are.
I never said it needed to be 30 minutes. I said it needs to be like a deserter buff. You can get rid of it, but you got to either do the things to get rid of it or you got to wait.
A gold making opportunity to get rid of the debuff. That's an interesting take on that, chat.
That is an interesting take.
Like, oh no, I got this because I left so many groups. I guess I need to pay 1 million gold to have, a bunch of key runners run me through a bunch of keys, so I lose the debuff. Oh, that's interesting.
That is an interesting take on it.
Sounds like I just got my new business opportunity.
Sign me up, Jazzy.
Money up front, please.
I mean, you know what though? That could be a thing to make gold for the guild bank.
Mhm.
Keep the people that are doing the keys keep part of it, and then part of it goes to the guild bank.
Yeah, that's a whole sales thing.
I
Have
mean,
to think that one through. There's logistics and all that fun stuff too. Sales are complicated.
That's always the fun part, is trying to get someone that's willing to do the logistics.
Mm-hmm.
You are preaching to the choir in that one. So for those of you who don't know, Jazzy runs the banking for the guild. I run social media, / communications, and Snow just runs the guild.
Yeah, that's all she does. Just
No,
run the guild.
I
She just
let the
runs the
guild run
guild.
itself is really what I do. But
Hey, you know what? That's a thing that happens when you have a good leadership team backing you.
Yeah.
you're
We do
not
all
wrong.
we do all this stuff for you.
We try to make your life as least complicated as possible, and so far, we've done a mediocre job.
I don't know about you, but my team runs pretty much so seamlessly that nobody sees what happens. It just happens. It's like magic, and I love it. Um, so all right, so what is what do you guys think is going to be the highest key level that we're going to run during Streamathon?
What are we up to?
Ooh.
I think I know what I'm at. I know what the highest I'm going to be running is likely going to be in the neighborhood of like a 13 to 14 range, because we're having to carry one person, right? Effectively. So probably
Maybe.
that's going to be my
Depends on who
highest.
you get.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the most popular key is either going to be a 10 or a 12.
Yeah. So what do we think is going to be the most popular dungeon?
The shortest one. Isn't that how it always is?
Rookery.
Rookery.
Yeah, yeah.
Rookery. Motherload is not bad. Workshop is not bad.
People tend to avoid
Workshop is pretty
workshop.
short. It's pretty short.
It is, but very little is skippable without the right comp.
That's true too. Just get a warlock, you'll be fine.
So, fun fact, I have to jump to take the gateway.
And what does that tell us? Don't be a gnome.
Tells me that Blizzard needs to rework their LOS mechanic for gateways. That's what it tells me. What are you getting at?
Cause if you're listening, we need you on your warlock for workshop. So
Definitely not top yet.
do we have a donation prediction?
Oh, what did we get last streamathon?
It was I think it was just over 5,000.
just over 5. I want to say we're gonna break that 6 mark.
That
There you
would be
go.
amazing.
Gauntlet thrown down, chat. Breaking that
Let's
6K
do it.
mark.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on. We got this. Calling everybody up in here. We got this. So I think that's everything that's on our sheet.
Did we finish? What?
I think we did, but I can throw one at you. What are we thinking about the dungeon rotation for 11-2?
I have thoughts. Namely, I don't want Eric Karaback because I don't really like that dungeon.
Yeah.
I don't mind that one as much as Tazavesh.
I like
Marketplace.
Tazavesh, so
I don't want to do Marketplace again.
I didn't mind it.
Although I've never done it on a melee, so I can't really. I've only ever done it on the shaman.
I've done it as all 3 roles, so it's fine with me.
We'll see. Either one of you guys got anything else?
I like Gambit better than Streets.
Yeah, I like Gambit better than
Yeah.
Streets.
I know people are really excited for Halls of Atonement for some reason. I don't know why.
Heck.
I know. I think it's just that first pull. It just hits them that dopamine, and then they're riding high for the rest of the dungeon. They forget that, oh yeah, the rest of this is crap.
Well, and we aren't going to be able to use the lanterns anymore now, are we?
That
Mm-mm.
no, I don't
How is that going to work?
know.
Yeah.
We'll
I don't
figure
know.
it out.
But
We'll figure it out.
yeah,
Look, The Rock was always our friend in that place.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Dave.
Oh, Rocky. You just say
Because
Rocky. His
I
Yeah.
was
name's
on
Rocky.
I was on the shaman.
Okay.
It's still so weird not being on the shaman.
Yeah.
But
Someone was pointing out the falling through the ship in Dawnbreaker.
oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. Don't worry. They've totally fixed that.
Sure. We'll
Yeah.
go with that.
In classic Blizzard fashion, I'm sure that they have fixed the falling through the floor, but then the boss is just gonna follow you.
No, you won't fall through the floor of the ship.
Right.
You'll just land and fall through the world.
Right. And the boss will follow you. So not only is it gonna hit you while you're falling and can't die. Yeah.
And it's going to evade the whole way.
Oh yeah. Because it's gonna be trying to reset. As soon as it lands, it's gonna reset.
It'll be at 1% and then just reset. And you'll be like, oh.
A lot like Bran popping his cooldowns when the mob's at 5% health. Thanks,
Oh.
Bran. You're doing the Lord's work out there, man.
At least I haven't had to try Tank Brand yet. I've heard stories.
Oh, it's awful.
Don't.
Just get it. Let him DPS. He is stuff looks at him and he dies.
Unless you're a healer, in which case you can actually keep him alive when he says, "Don't stand there," and then stands in the thing he's telling you not to stand in. Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I healed one on
Yeah.
my shaman and I had him go tank and
Yeah.
then I decided, let's see what it's like with him tanking when I DPS and
Yeah.
I was tanking anyway, so like why?
Yeah.
It just don't.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. Make him DPS.
I leave him as DPS and say, here's all the stuff that, like the one last season, there was the DPS curio that would actually end up doing damage to him. Like, good, just go die in a corner. Just whatever. I don't care. I don't care.
Go stand in the fire and
Just-
die. We don't care.
And if I hear, oh, thank you, champion.
Oh my god. Squirrel.
I don't know what you're talking about. There was no swirling at all.
Nah, not at all.
Not in the
But
slightest.
Were there any more questions from chat?
I didn't see any more questions.
I did
And we
not
answered all the ones
see.
that were that were submitted ahead of time. Big polls and hauls.
Oh no,
yeah.
there is one in here that we didn't answer.
Oh, what did we miss?
So what was the craziest rumor EK had? Like whether it was a certain player or if it was about the guild in its entirety, like most wildly, most possibly absurd rumor told about EK or an EK player. That was a mouthful.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one that we've all forgotten. But I'm gonna bring it back that everything is Snow's fault.
Everything is
Oh,
Snow's
man.
fault.
You're
Don't let
welcome.
her live it down. Do not let her live it down. It is everything that happens is Snow's fault. But I mean, like, I can't think of any. Like,
No, I don't know of any rumors. If there's been rumors, they've either been like ridiculous or they ended up being true. Like, oh no, we're starting this new thing, and then it came to fruition. Like, yeah, that's because we were already working on it. Good job.
you're a genius with a capital J.
Exactly. Yeah, that's. I can't really think of anything like juicy or titillating like that. So
I
sorry to
can't either.
disappoint.
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Except the burning question. What does Shay do?
Nobody
It's a
knows.
mystery. It's a mystery.
Nobody does. I think she just sits around and just stares at her computer diabolically and just. like Mr. Burns it up. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I actually do things for real, like streamathon.
Yeah. Fen, that is, you've met me. I am not 3'5". You've seen me
Oh.
in real life, and you're also talking to Snow, who's seen me in real life. Ugh.
I think the only person in here that hasn't seen him in real life is me. So
Yep.
I cannot confirm or deny that he is 3'5" tall.
I could say something rather inappropriate, but I won't.
I can already draw that line. Thank you.
I shan't do such a devious task.
I don't know about you. But
Nobody does.
anywho, we've went through everything we had here. Thanks everybody for
Yeah.
playing along. Uh Snow and Jazzy, as always, thank you.
It was a
And
pleasure.
the podcast will be available on YouTube eventually.
Yes.
So if someone that wanted to watch missed it, guess
That's
what? You're in
okay.
luck.
Links will be
Uh
provided, as they always are.
Links will be provided. So be on the lookout if you want to run on a team. Team signups will be available on Tuesday, um, at some point during the day. And then be on the lookout for the donation link and for key signups.
Yeah. All right.
So with that being said, thanks everybody for hanging out with us and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye
Bye.
guys.